Betsy DeVos doesn't want to have to deal with student loan debt. In fact, she was held in contempt of court because she was supposed to cancel student loan debt for students who had been victimized by the fraudulent activity of for-profit colleges. She refused to cancel that debt, was held in contempt of court. Now she's like, you know what? Why is the government dealing with this? Why don't we find an independent organization that deals with student loan debt? So let me give you the details of what she's doing. Common Dreams wrote that DeVos this week proposed handing over the federal government's $1.5 trillion student loan portfolio to a standalone government corporation. This means that she'd want to privatize this. DeVos's plan would spin off the Education Department's Federal Student Aid Office into a new and supposedly independent federal agency. In fact, she said during a speech in Reno, Nevada, I'm not so sure the federal government should monopolize student lending, but if it does, and for now it essentially does, then it must provide services on par with world-class financial firms.
Ooh, world-class. What's funny though is that well, it's not funny at all. She's one of the most corrupt people ever in government. A few months ago, there was a story about how she's basically just sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars that has been approved by Congress to forgive student loan debt. Why? Because her family and her financial interests are heavily invested in student loan payments, and also, if they all get wiped out, then how is she going to get that juicy interest rate, or how is she going to get all of the money that that comes to her when these students are unable to pay? It's predatory, and she's literally just sitting on congressionally approved money, and I think in a bipartisan way, purely to enrich herself and her family. What do you call that? It's corruption.
And if she has her way, if she's able to accomplish what she wants to accomplish here, it would be incredibly difficult for a president like Bernie Sanders to unilaterally cancel student loan debt.
Exactly, because it would be outsourced to a private corporation and it would not be in the government's hands anymore. So very shrewd to protect her cash long term as she is on this administration's sinking ship.
And then at that point, they would claim like, oh, this is the government seizing private property. This is outrageous. We gave it to the private banks. Wait a minute, it was from the government in the first place. Hence the need for this trick. Look, I used to think that even the bad guys had to sleep at night, so they had to tell themselves pretty little lies, and so they could look at themselves in the mirror. And so she like, oh, I think it's important. In this scenario for her, she would think, to get into private industry because there'll be more innovation. Standard excuse they use is, nah. In this case, there's really absolutely no excuse at all. They want to make sure that they protect that $1.5 trillion that they're making money off of. Her family is heavily invested in the student loan industry. No, I think that it's as simple as her and her family members talk, and they're like, well, this is going to cost us a lot of money if a progressive wins, and we can't. And we won't be able to profit off of ripping off students. And that's our business model.
We won't be able to buy that 12th yacht.
Oh, I know.
To be fair, 11th, she only has 10.
Oh, I thought she had 11.
And I think one of them floated off. Did we not, did you hear about that story?
Yes, and they were outraged because they think somebody cut the ropes.
She's hurting, she needs another replacement yacht.
Yeah, she was down to 9 yachts for a while. I think they got the 10th one back.
Oh,
I'm not kidding, by the way.
Thank God.
Those are real numbers.
Wow.
Okay, but she was also held in contempt of court for failing to comply with an order to stop collecting loan payments from former students of a defunct for-profit college company. So the courts told her, stop collecting these loan payments because we already have a ruling, and the government said don't collect them because that so-called college was garbage. And they gave these diplomas to people or didn't give diplomas to people because the whole thing was a scam. And she's like, yeah, I know, but my family makes money from this.
You're not getting it.
That's right.
It's to enrich me.
Right. I mean, the corruption of Donald Trump's administration is record-breaking. So the irony that he won the election by saying he was going to drain the swamp is, I mean, it's devastating. So it's particularly the students who have been robbed blind by Betsy DeVos for the entire Trump term. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.